Welcome to Flora High School. I'm Principal Toby Pierce, and I want to show you how to get into our main entrance and access our office as a student. This main entrance is for our guests and our students access as well. So anybody that wants to get in the building needs to push this top button and look directly into the camera. The doorbell will ring.
Can I help you?
Yes, this is Mr. Pierce. I'd like to get into the school.
Okay, come on in, let the list be open.
The secretary will hit the button. You'll hear a click. It means this door's unlocked. Any guest will need to access the secretaries from this window. You can push this button for service and to talk, and they can talk to you. And we have a bank box here to trade any information back and forth. Anyone that wants to come in the building hits this button in our double door entry system. This button will be pushed. The secretary will make eye contact that you are a student. And this door will not click. This is a magnet door, and you will not hear a click on that. So you have to just push on the door and it will open after they've hit the button. When you come in the main office, we have two secretaries, Stacy and Julie, that will take care of you. For students that either drive to school and park in our north parking lot or get off on the bus, they'll be let off right here. This is close to our B hallway entrance. This doorway is only for student and faculty entrance. I'll show you how to get in here. Again, the sign says this is for student and faculty only. All visitors need to enter through the main office. And again, we have a double door entry system for security purposes. You'll push the button. Doorbell will ring.
Can I help you?
Yes, can we get in the building?
Who are you?
This is Mr. Pierce.
Okay, come on in.
Thank you. The door will click. You'll come in. And again, the secondary system. They'll let you in with another click. Here at the main entrance, you can see that we have our hallways labeled. A hallway, B hallway. You would go to the left. As you come into the building, you go to the right to go to C hallway. We'll take you down to C hallway now. That is where a majority of our classrooms are at, as well as our lockers. You've got the C hallway marked as you come into the entrance of the hallway. The freshman hallway starts on the complete west end, and we'll take you down there. All right, we're at the end of C hallway now, and locker number 1 starts right here. They start to number down going in that direction, and then they also come back in this direction, and freshman lockers will number down in that direction as well. Right here at locker number 1, we also have our first C hallway class. On your schedule, you'll see a number and a letter. This one is 1C. So that means this is C hallway, classroom number 1. So right here, Mr. Slagley's room for Ag Science is number 1, and then a number going up in that direction. Number 2 would be Dr. Drake's classroom, and then you have 3C, Mrs. DeHart's classroom, and so forth. All right, as we film, that is the far end, looking from the far direction to the freshman hallway. You come all the way to the opposite end down here. You've got the senior hallway on the complete east end. And here, you see the mural, which gives you an idea of where the art room is. Our art room is directly to the left, and our band room is directly to the right at the end of the hallway. Okay, now we'll go to B hallway. We'll have to cut across the commons for that. But we have 8 classrooms down in B hallway. So if you see on your schedule that you have classroom 1B, then that will be the first classroom in B hallway. We'll show you where that's at. All right, we have to cut across the commons to get there. And we'll have to go past our lunch line. All right, you see where our cafeteria is located and our normal lunch line location? You got to keep going past that towards B hallway. Now we're back close to the B hallway entrance that you would have gotten off the bus at. B hallway, you see a sign directional arrow. You go down this hallway. If you follow me down here, we've got 1B at the end of the hall. Starts with Mr. Plumley. And 1B. We've got 2B, 3B, and 4B down at this hall. And then we've got classrooms 5B through 8B at the opposite end. If you're looking looking for 9B and for the ag classroom, your reference points are the soda machines. And if you come down to the soda machines and you turn here, you'll see that our ag classroom is on the left and our ag shop is on the right. To get to our wood shop, you have to take the ramp to access. We'll go down the ramp and there's our first door on the right. If you come in here, you'll easily see the wood shop and shop location. Back at the main entrance, you see a hallway. We go to the left, we'll actually have to go to our left, and then we have to access that by either going through the bleachers in the gym or through the weight room, and we'll show you both routes. As you can see, so if the sign points a hallway, you have to go through the gym. But first, I'll show you a shortcut that you can take through our weight room. As you go down the ramp, you can cut through the weight room, and we'll come up the steps on the other side. As you come up the steps, you'll see that we only have 4 classrooms on this side of the building in a hallway. The first classroom is room 2A. And you'll see that we have a resource room here with Mrs. Couts and Mrs. Britton. And if we come up the stairs, we have room 3A, which would be Mr. Ridge's room. As you come up the stairs in 3A, the only classroom on this side is Mr. Ridge's classroom, where he teaches world history and other history and government courses. If you come to the opposite side of the hall, you can actually access the driver's ed room and health room. You have to come all the way up the steps, and Mrs. Flainer's driver's ed and health classroom is located right there. And this is a class where probably every freshman will have either health or driver's ed first semester. The other way to access your driver's ed room is you'll come into the gym, but we do not walk on the gym floor throughout the day. That is actually a detention if students are walking on the gym floor. We try to keep it nice and clean. As you take a look at our gym floor, we try to keep it immaculate and keep Conley Gym looking fantastic. You take a little walk up the gym steps, and the classroom is in the top right corner over there to access your driver's ed and your health class. And if you're going for world history, you'll enter from the other side of the steps, climb those steps, and Mr. Ridge's classroom is in the top left corner on the opposite side of the gym. Now we'll show you Harry Penry Auditorium, where we would normally have our assemblies, but we will not have an assembly on the first day of school this year. Generally, when we have an assembly, the freshmen will sit on the far south side, the seniors sit in front, then the juniors in the middle, sophomores in the back. But we won't be doing any of that to start the school year. Also, as you come in the main entrance here, immediately to your right, you'll see our guidance office. In our guidance office, we have Mr. Ridge, who is our regular counselor, and Mrs. Massey, who serves as our guidance administrator. Our secretary is Tanya Simpson. She'll be at the front desk on most days, ready to assist. Okay, now we'll go over some miscellaneous items that freshmen need to know for the start of the year. First off, let's just get the obvious out of the way with the mask. Mask will be mandatory. We will have to wear these. There really is no way around it. This is part of the state mandate. And if a student chooses to not wear a mask while at school, then the parent will be called and that student will have to go home. We cannot have any students in the building without a mask. We will try to offer mask breaks as many times as possible in classes where classes can go outside, but masks, there's just no choice about it if you want to be in-person learning. Face shields are not a replacement for the mask. You can wear a face shield in addition to the mask, but a face shield alone will not cover the state mandate, so unfortunately we have no wiggle room on the mask. They will be treated just like we treat vaccinations. It's a health-related issue. It's not going to be a dress code issue with the mask. If you do not have your vaccines up to date, you are not allowed to go to school. Same thing with not wearing a mask. Every morning we will do a symptom check. As students get off the bus or arrive to school with their parents, they will go through a temperature station. They will be asked about their symptoms and if they have been around anyone with symptoms, and then they will be permitted inside the school. But once they get inside the school, students will continue to need to wear the mask. After students successfully make it through the symptom check area, Students have three options. At 7:45, we will start checking symptoms. After they make it through the symptom check area, they can go get breakfast, they can go to their locker, but then they must go straight to class. There will not be any clustering or loitering around after they went through the symptom check area. They can go get their items out of their locker, exchange what they need, head on the first hour, or they can stop and have breakfast if they like in the commons. But there will not be any other areas where students are allowed to hang out. They will be expected to go to their first hour class. Teachers will be in the room at 7:45 for everyone's first period. The bell will ring for everyone to start first period at 8:05. Students will be finished with breakfast at that point, but breakfast will be an option. And then at the end of the day, we will do lunch. And in our lunch line and breakfast line, we will have the 6-foot spacers marked. We will have 2 students at each table, all the tables facing the same direction. Again, breakfast is from 7:45 to 8:05. Lunch will be at the end of the day, so students need to be prepared for that. 12:37 is when lunch will start, and we will offer a lunch to grab and go. If students want to take it with them, they can sit down and eat in our commons if they choose, or students can elect to just go out to lunch and go home at that point. As I mentioned, we will have a 1 o'clock out every day. Our buses will pick up students at exactly 1 o'clock. Our schedule, we call it an 8A-B schedule, because we are going to do mornings, our periods 1 through 4 on our A days. On our B days, we'll do our afternoon classes, periods 6 through 9, with 5th hour normally being our lunch. Those days will alternate every day. We will start the first day of school with an A day, and you'll have your first 4 classes. On Tuesday, the second day of school, you'll have your B classes, which will be your afternoon classes. These will alternate throughout the semester as long as we're in this special COVID 1 o'clock schedule. So whatever day that we end the week, if we hypothetically we end the day of the week on an A day, the first day of the next week will be a B day. As far as the daily schedule, students will want to dress appropriately. We will be going outside as much as possible for mask breaks. Our PE and band will be outside as much as possible. PE will not be using the locker rooms to start the school year, so we will not be dressing out for PE, so you're going to want to dress appropriately for that. Band, the same thing. They're going to want to be outside as much as possible. We have 65 students in the band, so in order to have the band all together at one time, we have to have them outside. We have arrangements for when they need to play inside, how we will split the band up, but just be prepared. First off, to bring your instrument on the first day. Freshmen, they plan on playing music the very first day, but we will go outside quite a bit for band this year. Got some notes from the nurse's office that they want me to share to freshmen. Physicals are due for all incoming ninth graders. They will be due on September 1st, whether you're in remote learning or not. After September 1st, technically you would not be allowed to come to school until you obtain that physical. Sports physical, just a special note here, a sports physical does not count as a school physical. Okay, but you can take a school physical and use that for a sports physical. You will not need 2 physicals if you're playing sports. A school physical will cover your sports. One other note, you may know that you have to have a dental exam as a freshman. Those are not due until May 15th, so you have a majority of this school year to fulfill that requirement. Now moving on to driver's ed information. Quite a bit of information here, and obviously this is a very popular class with freshmen. We've waived most fees this year, but the driver's ed fee was not waived. So if your student is going to be taking driver's ed, they need to pay at some point their $75 driver's ed fee. In order to get your white slip, students will have to take their social security card, a sealed transcript from the high school, their white slip application, and $20 up to the driver's facility. The transcript and the application for the white slip will be handed out in class, and these items all have to be taken up to the DMV by the student and guardian after the student turns 15. And also, one other note, students must pass the rules of the road test by then, but that should be taken care of at that point. Another note about receiving that white slip and license, students will have to pass a written test, and as of right now, the state is saying that that test has to be done in person. So even if a student is currently remote, if they want to take that test, they do have to do that in person. It is a state requirement. Students will also be given a vision test, but they will be doing that at the driver's facility this year. Just a note on driving, when it comes time for that for freshmen, those who pass the first semester driver's ed course will normally be pulled out of PE starting in the second semester. Obviously, we'll see where we're at this point in the school year, but as long as we are able to drive students, we will continue to do that. One other final note that we've been getting questions on, but yes, we do have community service requirements at the high school, but all of those have been put on pause and will either be waived or prorated based on how long the pandemic lasts. But students are not required to do any community service right now. In fact, we won't even take community service hours until the pandemic is lifted. All right, this completes our tour of Flora High School, the virtual video tour. However, if you would like to schedule a time to come visit the high school, bring your schedule and walk the halls and figure out your routes to class, you can call Flora High School at 618-662-8316, or you can email me, Principal Toby Pierce, that's tpierce@floraschools.com, that's TPEARCE@floraschools.com.